All right, so I want to talk about my first impressions with the Meta Quest 3. So this is just going to be a video talking about what I've used so far. I did use the mixed reality features that comes with the Meta Quest 3, also the virtual reality features with the Meta Quest 3. Obviously, it is a virtual reality headset. It is going to prioritize better VR over AR, but I'm going to talk about both aspects of the headset, what I think about it, what I like, what I dislike. So yeah, it's gonna be very quick. A full review is gonna be even more in detail when I use more apps, more third-party apps, more first-party apps, and just see how it goes. All right, so first thing I want to talk about this headset is the design and size. So obviously very portable, very light. I actually think that Meta did a very good job with this. It's not something that you'll have trouble putting on your head. I do feel a little strained depending on how I use it. For example, if I'm sitting on my bed and I'm just trying to lounge, it can feel heavy. But when you're playing games standing up, this does not feel heavy at all. I do wish that the strap was a lot better. You can get different straps for the Meta Quest headsets, but the default strap is pretty mediocre and very bad in my opinion. The design in front looks very cool, very different. It does look futuristic with the three camera holes and the sensor in the middle, and it has a lot of cameras. Already here has 4 cameras and sensors here, a camera in the corner over here, another camera here, and probably more somewhere that I can't see, but it's very, very good in design. It works perfectly. The size is perfect. I like it. I don't have any issues when it comes to design. All right, so moving on from the design and going to the VR aspects of the Meta Quest 3, the VR aspects is pretty cool. Like the Meta Quest 2 had very, very good VR. I had fun with it. I played Beat Saber. I did play VR Chat, obviously. I did play a few other games. Oh, Echo VR as well. RIP Echo VR. But the Meta Quest 3 does everything that the Meta Quest 2 can do. Does it do it better? I can't really tell if it does, because I've been playing the same games that I played with my Meta Quest 2 and I don't really see a difference. So I don't really know if the Meta Quest 2 is actually any better when it comes to the VR aspects, because the games that I'm playing, I'm not seeing a difference. So I don't know how much of an upgrade that the VR aspects have. So if you're coming from a Meta Quest 2 and you only care about the VR aspects of the Meta Quest 3, then you probably wouldn't even upgrade. The only reason you would upgrade if you only care about VR is maybe because of the size and weight of the Meta Quest 3. But is it enough to go from the Meta Quest 2 to Meta Quest 3? I'm not too sure. It would be maybe if it's on sale. So if you do catch it on sale and you're coming from a Meta Quest 2 and you just care about the VR aspects, then yeah, pick it up on a sale, but I wouldn't get it at the full price. All right, so the game that I played so far was Beat Saber, obviously, and I played a game about heights. So you go all the way up. I think it's called Plank or something like that. I forgot the name. I'll put it on the screen here, but that game was actually pretty fun. It was the first game that I played on the Meta Quest 3. I did not play it on the Meta Quest 2, but it was very good. But if you look at the quality, it doesn't seem to be a difference. I think it's the exact same game. The Meta Quest 3 might be a lot more capable compared to the Meta Quest 2 when it comes to VR, but none of the games actually show it. I'm gonna look for more games. That's why this is just a first impression. So if you guys have a game that you want me to compare the Meta Quest 2 and the Meta Quest 3 for, let me know. I'll compare it and see if there's actually a difference. But the Meta Quest 3 doesn't really bring much when it comes to VR. That could be on the developer side, that are not taking advantage of the Meta Quest 3 powering capabilities, but it could also just be on the fact that VR is probably at its peak. We're probably capped at how VR actually is, so we're gonna have to maybe deal with it. All right, so the AR aspects of the Meta Quest 3 surprised me in a good way and in a bad way. You can do pretty much more than I thought you can do with the AR aspects. I was able to actually use the browser and watch YouTube on a big screen from the Meta Quest headset. And I was able to also copy the actual screen of my computer and move the computer desktop around the room and still be able to control my computer. That was actually pretty cool, and those are native actual apps. I didn't download any third-party apps yet. The native apps of the Meta Quest 3 when it comes to mixed reality is actually pretty cool. The issue though that I have with the Meta Quest 3 AR capabilities is the pass-through. So it's extremely blurry. Like it's like you can see, you can walk around, you can touch things perfectly fine, but you can't use your phone. The whole world around you warps a little bit when you move too much. It's very grainy, like if you're filming at night with an iPhone 6s. So it's very bad when it comes to the actual quality of the pass-through. You can walk around, you're not going to bump into things, but you're not going to be able to actually read things correctly. That's where you're going to be second guessing if you want to be on the AR side of this. So that's probably what the Apple Vision Pro has that you can really use, is that you can have the headset on and cook food, you can read a book at the same time. But with this one, you really can't. It's a mixed bag when it comes to the mixed reality. I am expecting to use more third-party apps to see if the mixed reality can be even more better. But just with the default apps that comes with the Meta Quest 3, the mixed reality is actually pretty decent. So I'm actually happy about it. But for the price, it might be worth it. If you want to have the mixed reality features, this price is actually pretty good. But this does more than just a mixed reality. It does virtual reality as well. So that's probably what you're paying the extra amount for. So if you don't care about the mixed reality and you only care about VR, this is the way to go. But if you have a Meta Quest 2, you might as well just stick with your Meta Quest 2. Obviously, the Apple Vision Pro will be available next year, but let's be honest, a lot of you guys will not be able to get it. I don't even know if I'll get it, but if I do get it, I will be comparing it to the Meta Quest 3 and other AR headsets. But so far, the Meta Quest 3 is actually pretty good. So yeah, that's about it for my first impressions. I'll make a full review maybe in a few days or in a week and just talk in detail about my experience with the Meta Quest 3. So far, so good. But let's see if it can get better or worse. So see you guys on the next video. Peace.